Well, hello everybody. Welcome to this week's Tuesday tip and also Election Day. So, hopefully, if you haven't had the chance to vote yet, you'll be given the opportunity to do so before polls close. I was able to get my sticker and do so myself. But I'd like to revisit the topic I talked about a couple weeks ago regarding your role as a manager and your ability to help with people's stress levels and keeping environment that has everybody performing at their best and in the most positive mental state. The challenges we've got with this election and the divisiveness and the fact that you're probably going to have half your staff, whatever way this goes, anywhere between disappointed to massively discouraged, and customers as well that are going to be feeling that. So there's going to be some uphill battles certainly to overcome. You know, with my dissertation, I've been doing a lot of research on Gen Z and Millennials lately, thinking about topics on leadership with those two groups because millennials now make up the largest generational group in the entire U.S. labor force. So millennials is the bulk of your employees, and surprisingly, Gen Z by next year will make up over a quarter. 27% is what's being said. So 27% of the workforce will be Gen Z. And here's another interesting thing. 74% of managers currently say Gen Z is the most difficult to lead, citing things like lack of motivation, entitlement, poor communication skills. Another thing that was shocking to me that I learned about is just how stressed out Gen Z and millennials are. There was one study that said 46% of Gen Z state they are either stressed or anxious all or most of the time. And you know, you're managers and you probably see a lot of this stuff. And so how do we overcome that? How do we get employees performing at their best? How do we get their stress levels down? And especially with salespeople. Now, salespeople in general, stat is that 63% of all salespeople are struggling with their mental health, and this is a 5% jump from last year. So, what are the gains if we can get this under control? Salespeople say when they feel supported, they're 2.5 times more likely to say their performance is at their best it could possibly be. So, all this brings it back to engagement. It brings it back to employee engagement. It brings back to customer engagement. You think about the service profit chain. And if you have engaged employees, you're going to have engaged customers. Currently, 33% of salespeople and 40% of advisors report feeling unengaged in their jobs. And then you think about this this election and the stress that that's going to cause a lot of people. So what do you do? Well, obviously, we talked about being a transformational leader. We talked about being an authentic leader, supporting them, encouraging, finding bright spots, finding ways to recognize people for doing a good job. The things that they talk about Gen Z in the studies that make them perform better, they said being included in decision making was a big one. Fostering a culture of learning. They want to feel like they're advancing in their career. They want to feel like they're moving forward. So if you can be helping and guiding them in that, that will be a big thing. And then they want feedback. The Gen Z is very much looking for feedback, looking for how they're doing. And they said the number one reason that Gen Z will pick an organization, it's due to the learning and development opportunities that exist in that job. And then the last part is authenticity and vulnerability are of greater importance to millennials and Gen Zs. So, are you an authentic leader? Do you say what you mean? Vulnerable? Do you admit when you make a mistake? Do you let them know that maybe you don't have all the answers and you seek their input? Those are the things that is going to really help Gen Z and millennials perform at their best. So as we go through this election cycle and we go through the fact that there's going to be a lot of disappointed people out there, it will be hypercritical to build up our team, to find the positives, to find the encouragement so that they can then overcome some of these challenges that these generations face. You know, you think about they grew up through the COVID years, they grew up through social media challenges, and then it's the everyone has a trophy that some people think it's all about. Regardless of why it might be that Gen Z and millennials are so stressed out, doesn't matter. What matters is the fact that these are things that you're facing as a manager, and how do you overcome these challenges so you can get the most out of your people. So think about those things that I mentioned. Think about how you can do your part, and go vote. Thanks.